I love movies where the main character wakes up in an unfamiliar environment, not knowing how they got there, who brought them there, why they are there, how to escape that environment. I love those kind of movies. The character will try to figure out what's going on. They will ask questions. They won't feel comfortable being in that place because they don't know why they're there. They know that it's possible that they may have been brought into that place to be tortured. Maybe they were kidnapped. Maybe they're supposed to do things that they do not want to do. So they cannot feel comfortable. They cannot act like they know why they're there. Life is like those movies. Find yourself in a world that you don't really understand. You don't really know what's going on. It's not like life comes with instructions. It's not like they tell you that, hey, look, you are here to accomplish this mission and you're done. After you're done with your mission, you're good. You don't have to wander around without really knowing what's going on and what you're really doing. Life comes with no instructions. No one tells us what it is, why we exist, what we're supposed to be doing. Sometimes I laugh when I think of the fact that none of us know what we're doing. That's actually funny. I'll be at the mall observing other people and just think, so none of these people know what the heck we're doing here. None of these people know what we're doing. It's just walking around pretending to know what is actually going on. But really, none of us know what we're doing here. Would you say people who are trying to figure out what's going on here, people who are honest with themselves, who don't pretend as if they know what's going on, who don't pretend as if this makes sense, would you say that these people are wrong? Would you say that these people are bad? Would you say that these people are evil? If you've watched some of the movies where the main character wakes up in an environment and they have no memories of their past lives. They just wake up and not really know what they're supposed to do. Did you ever feel like they were wrong for asking questions? And if they meet people who tell them why they are there, did you ever feel like they were wrong for not trusting these people? Because in those kind of movies, the main character won't really trust the people who are like really telling them what's going on at first, until they are like sure that these people can be trusted. And sometimes it does happen that they realize that, well, those people cannot be trusted because they do something to them in the end. Would you say that a person who is trying to figure out what is really going on in the world, what life is really about, what our purpose here is, would you say that that person is wrong? Would you say that that person is wrong for not believing some people who are claiming to know what we are here to do, if these people cannot provide evidence for their claims? You are born in a world without any memories of your past lives, if you've been alive before. You don't know who to trust. You don't know what to do. You don't know what your purpose is. And some people come and tell you that, hey, we do have the answers. We know that none of you know what's going on. Here's what's going on. There's a God. There's a God. This God loves you so much. You're not perfect. You're not perfect. You are sinners, all of you. You're not perfect. But this God loves you so much that He was willing to actually die for your sins. Because you're not perfect. So He was willing to die for your sins so that He'll be able to forgive you for your sins. Like, what? What are you talking about? So, if you want to be saved, because, well, if you're not going to be saved, you're gonna find yourself in a place that's worse than this. If you want to be saved, look, you gotta believe in Him. There's no proof of His existence. You just have to believe. You just have to have faith. You just have to have faith. And you're going to find yourself in a better place. If you're not going to have faith, you're going to find yourself in a place much worse than this, and you're going to be tortured. And you decided, okay, I'm going to believe what I'm being told, and then some people come with new information. Hey, no, actually, what you've been told is wrong. Here is the truth. That person that you've been told that you must worship isn't God. Nah, that was just not a dude. It isn't God. Who do you trust? More and more people come up with their own stories about the world that you are in. Who do you trust? None of these people have evidence for the claims that they are making. Some of them are telling you that you are evil for not believing what they're telling you. Do you trust those people? People who tell you that you're going to be tortured for eternity if you don't believe what they're telling you. Do you trust them? Who do you trust? Wouldn't that make you suspicious? People tell you that you're going to suffer for not believing what I'm telling you, and you're going to suffer for eternity, as if you've done something wrong. First, they tell you that you've done something wrong. Right? They want you to believe that you've done something wrong. You are flawed, and you're going to suffer for that unless you believe what they're telling you. When you tell them that, well, if humans are flawed, why should we not stop making more humans? They say, you're evil, you're evil. Do you trust them? You tell them, okay, look, you're telling me that we're all sinners. You're telling me that if some of us don't believe, I mean, some of us will believe, of course. So if some of us don't believe what you're telling us, there will be punishment. And there won't be forgiveness. So the punishment will last forever. Doesn't it make sense for us to stop creating more humans, since we know beyond any reasonable doubt that some of these humans will be punished forever? Is it a sin to not stop creating more humans? You're evil, you're evil. Man. Open your eyes. Be as honest as possible with yourself. If you can't be honest with other people, fine. That's fine. But be honest with yourself. If it was true that if you don't believe what some of these people are telling you, you're going to be punished for eternity, what will that mean about that world that you are in, where you are told that you must believe what they want you to believe, even though there's no evidence? If you don't believe, you're going to suffer for eternity. Like, what will that really say about that world? Well, then that automatically mean that the world is evil? Let me tell you something. The only way to get to the truth is through radical honesty. I know that some people cannot be that honest with themselves. That is why they're delusional. Be so real, be so honest with yourself that you don't leave any stone unturned. Try to question everything. You'll see what makes sense. See, if you try to question everything, you'll see what actually makes sense. If you question nothing, you are going to believe things that don't make sense. You are going to believe people who do not have your best interest at heart. You're going to believe people who lie to you, people who deceive you, people who manipulate you. Why? Because you haven't done what you were supposed to do. And this kind of movies that I'm talking about, can you imagine if the main character just believed whoever will tell them that they actually know the truth? I don't feel sorry for people who are deeply religious and who are being manipulated, who are being controlled. I don't feel sorry. I'm like, hey, we want different things in life. Some people want to know what life is, what's really going on, so that we'll know what we actually need to do. Some people want to have fun. Some people want to feel a certain way. When you really think about it, you can't really feel sorry for people who are being manipulated, who are believing lies. It's what they want. But don't ever force yourself to believe lies because you're outnumbered. Focus on what makes the most sense. You can pretend as if you believe if you feel like you live with people who are going to make your life a living hell if you show them that you don't believe what they believe. I mean, that's a red flag, by the way. That should tell you something about this world. People wanting you to suffer. People convincing themselves that you are evil because you don't believe what they believe. That should tell you something. But if you live with people like that and you feel like, hey man, these people will make me suffer more if I'm honest. So I'm not going to be real, because you don't have to be honest with them. That's the thing. You don't have to be honest with them. Although being honest with other people is one of the fastest ways to grow. But you don't necessarily need to be honest with other people, but you definitely need to be honest with yourself. You definitely need to be honest with yourself. Why should you be honest with yourself? So that you don't fall into traps. You don't fall into traps. You have to understand that once you start believing something, it's not going to be easy for you to stop believing it. See, that's a trap. Once you start believing something, it's not going to be easy for you to stop believing it. especially if there are things that you're going to do because of what you believe. Once you start doing something, you are investing in it. Like once you start doing something, once you start taking actions, you are investing. So let's say you believe in Christianity. You read the Bible, you pray, you fast, go to church. You follow the rules, give money to the church. You are investing. When you invest in something, you expect a reward. Do you want to know why it's hard to recover from a breakup? It's because you would have invested. It was easy for you to recover from breakups where you didn't invest, right? Because you did not invest. So you won't need to tell yourself lies about the relationship because you didn't invest. You won't need to be angry at the person that you were in a relationship with or blame them if the relationship ends because you did not invest. But if you invest, it's not going to be easy for you to recover from that relationship. That's why people never move on from some of their partners because of how much they've invested. I'm not just talking about money. Your energy, your emotions, your thoughts, everything counts. Like you've invested so much that it's not easy for you to be like, hey, I should forget this person. So that's why it's not easy for people to stop believing in their religions even when their religions are wrong because they have invested. So if you're going to invest in a belief system, make sure that it's the right belief system, so that you won't ever need to abandon that belief system. If you're going to invest in the wrong belief system, you're going to end up being delusional. You're not going to be in touch with reality. There are many religious people who have died because they believed what their pastors were telling them. They believed what their prophets were telling them. Find out what they really needed was treatment. But their pastors like, hey, let me pray for you. Have faith. God is going to help. You want to know why their pastors say that? Because they're hoping that that person survives so that more and more people will believe that what they are saying is true. Because they have also invested in that belief system. It's hard for them to be like, hey, I was wrong. This is not making any sense. We might need to abandon this belief system and try to figure out what is more true. So you must genuinely seek for truth. If you find something that makes more sense than what you believe, you mustn't be afraid to admit that you are wrong. You'll be wrong so many times because there are so many traps that you can fall into. You are not in a reality that you understand, where the truth is given to you. You have to search for the truth. So sometimes you're going to find something that seems true, but that's not actually true. So you need to keep searching until you find what makes more sense, until you find something that is unfalsifiable. You listen to other people try to convince you that you're wrong, but you see that there's nothing that they're really saying. People who have invested so much in their belief system that they can't really escape their belief system, so they want validation. You see? They want validation. When they see a person like you, an intelligent person like you, saying that, no, what you believe is not real. It makes them feel insecure, right? About what they believe. So they like, hey man, I need to convince this person that I'm right. But they end up not making sense. That's why they get angry at you. When you debate with religious people, they get angry at you because they've invested a lot. Can you imagine a person who's been a Christian for 20 years? You know what's gonna take for that person to be like, hey man, like I was wrong and they lied to us? It's like, dude, it's gonna take a lot. I mean, if they are surviving, if they're married to a person who believes in the religion that they believe in, their children believe in the religion that they believe in, their friends believe in the religion that they believe in, their whole survival depends on them believing in what they believe in. Understand? So why will they change? They can't change. It doesn't matter how ridiculous their belief system is, they won't change. Their survival depends on them believing what they believe. That is why it's important to be honest with yourself so that you don't fall into a trap. If you believe in a wrong religion, that's a trap. That is a trap. Fall in love with the wrong people, that's a trap. You find that you've invested so much in a person that's not right for you. That's a trap. When you find a person who's right for you, you still find yourself attached to the person that's not right for you because you've invested so much in them. So it's not even easy for you to invest what you need to invest in the right person because that's why they say a man only loves once. That's not a lie, actually. Like men, if they love, they're gonna love wholeheartedly. But if it doesn't work out, and usually it will be through betrayal. Like they'll get betrayed because they love, right? So they're not gonna be the ones doing the betraying. So they get betrayed. What's gonna happen is that because they've invested so much, because usually in a relationship, men are the ones who invest more. It's not easy for them to love again. It's not easy for them to invest again because they've been wrong the first time. What if they're wrong again? I mean, it's possible, but it's a lot harder. Like, it's a lot harder to make a man who has had their heart broken love you. Because they were wrong the first time, so they might be wrong again. It's hard to make a person who had invested so much in a religion believe in the like to see the truth, because they've been wrong, so they, might be wrong again. So they will rather stick to what they know. That is why some people go back to their toxic exes. This is what I know. The more you invest in a belief system, the more powerful it becomes. Like, the more attached you become. Like, this is what I tell guys. I'm like, hey man, like, if you are dating a woman, make sure she invests in you. Because if she's not investing in you and you're investing in her, see, I think the reason why once you become like part of a religion, they want you to invest your time. They want you to make sacrifices. They want you to read the Bible, meditate. It's because they know that when you invest in something, you become attached to it. Like, it's not easy. Even for, like, let me give you this example. Even a person who doesn't believe in a religion anymore, like a person like me, there is still some part of me that's kind of like attached to the religion that I was raised believing, right? Because even though I wasn't investing a lot, even though I was a skeptic, but still, so don't fall into the wrong traps, right? Don't believe things that are wrong, because it's going to be hard for people to convince you that you're wrong, is it? Find the right belief system and start doing your research more. Like, try to figure out if your belief system might be wrong, if there's flaws in your belief system. And if there isn't, then there's no reason to not invest in that belief system, because chances are it is the right belief system. The mistake that religious people made is that they fell into a trap. They didn't ask questions, and now they can't escape the trap that they fell into. And they want others to fall into the same trap that they fell into. Human beings are like that. If you fall into a trap, you want others to fall into the same trap. If you get locked up in prison, you want other people to get locked up, right? You don't want to be alone. There's this meme where they show this, other rapper wearing prison clothes, laughing. Kodak Black, yeah, it was Kodak Black. He was laughing, wearing prison clothes, and they wrote, the caption said, when you get called to the principal's office and you see your friend there, like, damn, I'm not alone, my friend is here. So if you got locked up and you found your friend there, or you hear that, oh, your friend is getting locked up too, I mean, that's fucked up, but as a human, you feel better, right? Like, hey, at least I'm not alone in this shit. You fall into a trap, you want other people to fall into the same trap. If they refuse to fall into the same trap that you're falling into, you're going to become emotional. You're going to be angry. You're going to start accusing them of things that they're not doing. You're going to start calling them witches. You're going to start calling them evil. You're going to start threatening them with hell. You're going to suffer because you don't believe what I believe. God has given you enough time, and you still don't want to believe. You still want to be arrogant. You still want to lean on your own understanding. You will suffer. That should tell you everything that you need to know. What you really need is the truth, and you deserve the truth. You deserve the truth. You were brought into this place without your consent, and no one is telling you why you are here. There are just some people who are making you feel guilty for being human, as if it was your fault that you were born as a human. You don't even have free will. As humans, we like to believe we have free will, but we don't even have free will. We're victims of causality. That's why I love speaking the truth, because I know that we're victims of causality. Some people have made mistakes because they didn't hear someone speaking the truth. They didn't come across a video of me speaking the truth, so they made a mistake. But some actually realized that, nah man, there's something that makes more sense than what I've been told. So they escaped the trap that they were falling into before they started investing and investing and investing. Once you start investing, you expect a reward. But if you don't invest, you don't care. I don't ever feel like God owes me anything. I don't believe in God. I just found myself in a world that I don't understand. And some people have been telling me that there's a God, but it doesn't really seem that way. And it doesn't really seem like I'm here for myself. and I'll be able to free myself by being a good person. Some people believe that you must be a good people are easy to control. Even if you are a bad person, you want the people that you're trying to control to be good, right? You want them to follow the rules, to not ask any questions. They must be good, they must be blind, they must listen to what you're saying. You get to decide what's right or wrong. It's not up to them. So don't be afraid to stand alone if you want to stand alone. If you don't want to stand alone, don't be afraid to be honest with yourself if you don't want to be honest to other people. If you don't want to tell other people that they're wrong, that's okay. But if you are in a trap, try to escape it. There's like living life believing that there's a God. Help you live better, cope better. I think it can. My only problem is that people make mistakes when they believe in God. Like, they make a lot of mistakes and they suffer because of these mistakes, and other people suffer because of these mistakes, because they convince themselves that they must indoctrinate their children, they must indoctrinate other people, they must force their religions on other people instead of just believing and allowing other people to believe what they believe without brainwashing them or emotionally blackmailing them. I think that will be good. Especially considering that all these belief systems were actually made up. It's not like people know why they believe what they believe, It's just brainwashed. Human beings can be made to believe anything. Never forget that. A human can be made to believe anything. A human can be made to be against anyone. You are programmable. They can program you to become a soldier. They can, and you end up unaliving people. They can program you to become a soldier, end up unaliving people. I mean, imagine if a boy had to be trained to become a soldier when they like 5. They had to grow up being trained to become a soldier. Do you really think that they can actually realize that, nah man, this doesn't make any sense, I shouldn't become a soldier and start murdering people? No. Every person is programmable, man. I remember I saw this comment where someone was complaining about my accent. Human beings have different accents. We have different accents because we're programmable. We grew up in different places, so we don't have the same accent. So you don't really have free will. You can't really say you have free will if you are programmable. So it's much better to just question everything. Try to figure out what life is really about, how it really works, what you really need to do. Like what do you really want to do? Like that also matters. What do you really want to do? Do you feel like you want to free yourself? Do you feel like you want to be here again and have this experience again? How do you even feel about this place? And if you're going to be honest with yourself, you'll know exactly how you need to live your life, what you need to be doing, what kind of people you should be connecting yourself with, like what kind of people you should be close to, kind of people you should be talking to, what kind of books you need to be reading, what kind of movies you need to be watching, what kind of videos you need to be watching. How you should think. That should depend on what you want. If you want to be delusional, that's still fine because that's what you want. Just like I said in the beginning, that some people want to believe what they believe because that makes them feel good. There's something that they gain from believing what they believe. That does happen. It's like I gave you all this example before that some people are in toxic relationships because they want to be in toxic relationships. They just want to admit it to themselves. But they feel what they need to, what they want to feel when they're in toxic relationships. And they don't feel what they want to feel when they're in healthy relationships. Their brains do not really release the chemicals that make them feel good when they're in healthy relationships. But when they're in toxic relationships, their brains release chemicals that make them feel good. So they want to be in toxic relationships. It's like I gave you all this example that humans don't want to watch a movie where there is peace, there's no drama, there's nothing. People are just doing things or doing nothing. Like the movies that become popular are movies full of drama, movies that make them feel different emotions. So yeah, some people are addicted to feeling these different emotions. That's why they love this kind of movies, like Nigerian movies, for example. I remember telling you guys that life is not a Nigerian movie. In Nigerian movies, the main character will suffer a lot because they are being abused by someone, and then in the end things work out for them, and then the abuser ends up suffering. But life is not like that. Life is not a Nigerian movie. You can suffer your whole life, But yeah, they want to feel what they feel when they watch this kind of movies. So it's like that even with like relationships. If you want to be in a good relationship, find a woman who likes who don't like those kind of movies. If you're gonna date a woman that likes Nigerian movies, I'm telling you, she's gonna love you more when you're a bit like when you're kind of like toxic. So find a woman that likes I don't know, like movies with no drama. Yeah, maybe it should be the right woman for you. If you're a woman, find a man who likes movies with no drama. Not movies of people shooting one another. Guys who like John Wick 5. 4. Oh wait, there's 5. There's 4. Like, I think the last John Wick movie was John Wick 4. I've only watched one John Wick movie because my friend forced me to watch it and we're chilling together, and I hated that movie. It's like, what? So they killed his dog, and now he wants to like kill everyone because they killed his dog. I didn't love that movie, man, and it's I don't know. The storyline is just I don't know. It's just there's no like I don't know. It's just not interesting. But the point that I'm trying to make is that some people want to be in toxic relationships and they pretend as if they don't want to be in toxic relationships when they are suffering in those relationships, but they want to be in those kind of relationships. So some people want to stick to their delusions because they are used to their delusions. The delusions make them feel good. I remember asking you guys that, do you really want to live in Zion? The road to truth is lonely. The road to truth is actually lonely, so not that many people want the truth because of that. So it's much better to focus on yourself. What do you really want? Do you want the truth? Do you really want to free yourself? If you really want to free yourself, leave no stone unturned. Ask yourself the most important questions and make no assumptions. If you don't know something, don't make assumptions. Don't tell yourself that no, this is obvious. The truth about this is this. Like, no. Make no assumptions. You have to investigate everything, because no one is really going to tell you what the heck is going on. So it's you who has to do work to find out what's really happening, and it's important that you do that. Don't allow other people to tell you how you need to live your life. They're not you. They don't understand. Maybe you're not from the same reality. Maybe everyone is trapped in this reality, but some people are from a reality that's kind of similar to this, so this makes sense to them. But maybe you've come from a better reality and this is not making sense to you. You see, it's like people coming from different homes. Find yourself in a place where some people who come from certain homes feel like, it's a good place because they kind of come from places like that. But you come from a different home, you're like, no, this is not making sense. So you can look at it that way. So this might not feel right to you because it's just not your home. Like, you can't make a home out of this. It's just not your home. Maybe you don't believe in people being forced to be something that they are not, being controlled, being brainwashed, being lied to, people being delusional, all these things. Maybe you don't believe in that, and it fucks with your soul. You can see that now something isn't right. So you only have yourself to trust at the end of the day. When people are saying things that don't make any sense, things that you see cannot make sense, just don't trust them. Even if you feel like you are outnumbered, you can't trust them. You see, because people are different. You are what you are. You know what makes sense to you. You are asking the right questions because you care about the truth. Some people don't care about the truth. Now, not every person actually cares about the truth. So you cannot be trying to be like other people. You should stick to what actually makes sense to you. You should stick to what makes sense to you, because you are you. Can you imagine watching a movie and you don't like it, and everyone likes it, and they force you to like it, and you pretend as if you like it even if you don't like it? You won't be doing yourself a favor by pretending to love a movie that you don't love. You must be yourself. I know you suffer. I mean, you can pretend, but I mean, still watch the movies that you love. Like, don't watch the movie that everyone else is watching. You know, maybe pretend in front of them if you feel like they're gonna bully you for not, like, if you feel like you're gonna suffer worse if you don't pretend. I get that, but still watch the movie that you want to watch. Because you are you, man. You are not them. I know that we live in a world where we are being forced to be like other people. I've been telling y'all that society, it's a cult, so of course people will be forced to be what they are not, because it's a cult. Doesn't make any sense to believe in God, to be honest. There's a difference between believing in God and believing there's a God. It's possible that there might be some evil entities who have put everyone here, and but believing in God is different. That's a different thing. Like, believing in God is different. You now worship something, and you do what you believe it says you must do. Like, that's different. There's a lot of things that you're asked to do if you believe in it than if you believe there might be a God. Because that wouldn't automatically mean, like, if there was a God, it wouldn't automatically mean that he wants us to do something. Right? Maybe you just want to watch this movie play out. But believing that, no, I know God. God has shown me this and that. God is saying this and that. Nah, man. Don't let these people lie to you. People are delusional. They have some mental illnesses. It's just that it's normal to have some mental illnesses in this world. Some people have mental illnesses, they see things that are not there. But if you see Jesus and it's not there, that's not a mental illness. If you see an alien and it's not there, that's a mental illness. You see, in this realm, it's normal to be delusional if you are religious. As long as, especially if you believe in the popular religions, not just in any religion, like the most popular religion where you live. I mean, if you lived in China, they don't believe in Christianity, where a lot of people don't believe in Christianity, and you started having visions and telling them you're having these visions, they'll probably think you're crazy. So let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. It has always been the only way, you know. It has always been the only way. Radical honesty has always been the only way. You have to be so damn honest with yourself, because you have found yourself in a crazy reality. So what should you do? You must try to figure out what the heck is going on. Okay, I don't like this. Some of you have always felt like something was wrong, but because you were outnumbered, you had to pretend as if everything made sense. Like, hey, everyone else is acting like this world makes sense. It's not about other people, it's about you. It's about what makes sense to you, not what makes sense to them. People are controlling, man. They'll try to control you if you allow them to. Especially if they operating at a low state of consciousness. But if they are, conscious, maybe you can have a good relationship with them, because also it's not easy to live alone. So to have relationships with other people, you kind of have to give them power. But if you can live alone and just pursue truth, do that. But yeah, just do what makes sense to you, man. Thank you, guys.